In this video, we're going to look at 10 cottage garden plants and flowers that also make great cut flowers that you can sow in July. So you still have time to sow these seeds. I'm going to recommend 5 that will flower this year and 5 that you need to sow now for next year. And the 5 that you need to sow now for next year, if you're thinking, I can't even think about next year, really do, because these are beautiful, blousy, cottagey garden plants that are actually quite expensive to buy in sufficient numbers to give that blousy cottage garden appearance. I mean, I was looking at them this year and they were around sort of £4 or £5 or even more in some places for one plant. So sometimes you got some deals like 4 for £12 or something like that, but even 4, they're not really going to make an impact in your garden. So what you need to do is sow them from seed, and then you can have sort of 20, 30, 40 of each variety in your garden. And if you have spare, you can give them away. And that's how you pack your borders with beautiful cottage garden plants. Just before I get into it, rather than demonstrate sowing all these seeds, because I've demonstrated so many seed videos, so I'll link 2 below. One is my marigold sowing, because I get really into detail about how I sow them and keep the seeds moist until germination. And then I'll do another one, which is stop using plastic plant pots, because you don't need them, because you can sow this way here, and you can sow in lots of different ways as well. But I'll link those 2 videos so that you'll see exactly how I sow all these seeds that I will be doing in July. I will be sowing in this exact way. So I'll link those 2 videos below if you want to watch them. So let's get into it. And let's start with the 5 that you can still sow now for late summer colour. Number 1, zinnias. If you're in the UK, you must plant your zinnias, sow your zinnias in full sun, because otherwise they are just not going to produce enough energy to make flowers. So make sure you plant them in full sun with no other plants obstructing their sun rays. This is the only way you're really going to get them to grow fast enough to flower. Number 2, nasturtium. Well, nasturtium literally will just grow anywhere. You still have time to grow nasturtium. Now, if they've self-seeded from the previous year, then they'll probably be coming up now already. But if you're buying them from the shop, in this heat wave, we're having a current heat wave in the UK, and it's kind of like, looks like it's going to be going on for weeks. If you are in a hot area like that and you're buying your seeds, which will be dried in the packet, I probably would soak them. This will speed them up a bit, and it will also give them a little reservoir of moisture to protect them from this sort of really, really intense heat we're enduring here in the UK at the moment. So I don't normally recommend soaking them, because they will just do their own thing in normal conditions where there's rain and then warmth and rain and warmth. But we're currently in a really dry spell. Really, really baking heat. So I would definitely soak them if you're planning on planting them, certainly this weekend in the heat wave. Number 3, I think I did mention in my June video, and that's calendula. So you can have some really nice little orange flowers very, very quickly when you sow calendula from seed. You still definitely have time for those. Cosmos is number 4, and that's going to be really the same rules as zinnias. Cosmos will grow in time to flower. In fact, they will flower well into October, and I saw them last year at Great Dixter, and they were absolutely flowering in abundance in the 3rd week of October. But once again, if you want to make sure that they are going to get to the flowering stage, they, like the zinnias, need full sun, and nothing really less than full sun. And then the last one that will still flower this year is Nigella, and it's such a pretty flower. It's one of my favourite, and I didn't grow it this spring because I actually never told any of you this, but I actually sold my house and I was supposed to be moving out in the spring, and then it just kept being delayed and delayed and delayed until the wholesale fell through for reasons I'm not going to get into. You know what they're like in the UK. We have chains and things like that. And I had some reservations about the buyers really from day one. But anyway, I'll leave it there. It fell through. And so I ended up not sowing sweet peas or Nigella or some of the things that I normally grow. It's a bit complex having a YouTube garden, because you don't really have a conventional garden, because you always have projects going on. So I wanted to leave it as kind of normal for them as possible. So I didn't do any of those this year. So actually it's perfect for me to be able to sow some Nigella now, because I'm not going to lie, I've really missed my sweet peas and my Nigella this year. It's probably a bit hot and late for sweet peas, but I'm definitely going to give the Nigella a go. They should have plenty of time to be flowering by the end of September, if not before. And then I'm going to throw in a couple of bonus ones because why not? There's cornflowers, which I think in the US you call bachelor's buttons, and then there's sunflowers. Both, of course, need full sun. Both are really cottagey. Both make a good cut flower. And all I'd say is if you're going to start sunflowers now, because it is a little bit later in the season to start them, I would grow a shorter variety to make sure that they have enough time to mature and flower before the end of the season. Right, now we're going to get to the 5 that you need to sow now. And what I'm going to do is I picked blockbuster plants that would be expensive to buy growing in the nurseries or garden centres. And the first one of those is the hollyhock, but it does need a long time to establish. Once you get a hollyhock established, it's just going to come back every year. Even though it's technically a biennial, it will self-seed. If it's in the right spot, it's going to self-seed and it's just going to come back every year stronger and stronger. And it will flower about now. It flowers about late June to July in the summer. And it's a long flowering plant. It's very tall and it's just super beautiful. But if you buy it in the garden centres or nurseries, it can be quite expensive, especially if you've got a bigger garden or you want a big space full of them, the towering spikes, because they do look good in a big cluster. And so it can get expensive buying them all up front already grown. Now is a really good time to sow them. They get a good head start. They put on their roots and then come next spring, they will shoot up and you'll have these glorious flowers in the mid to late June through to July. The other one, number 2, which is really expensive to buy, is foxgloves. Foxgloves are actually quite expensive to buy, especially if you want to do fancy varieties, such as the little white polka dot ones. I think they're called Dalmatian, but there's lots of names for them. They're just beautiful, but they can be really expensive. They can be like £5 per plant. Well, £5 for one plant is just going to look a bit lost in your border. So you need between 5 and 7, 8, 9, 10 plants really to make a huge impact. So to get that number of plants, you really want to start them now. And so you've got this weekend to go and source some seeds, and then come the spring, come sort of May, June, you're going to have these glorious foxgloves flowering everywhere. So that's number 7. Number 8 is Sweet William. Sweet William is just so good. It's just so easy to grow, and it gives you such a lot of bang for your buck. The seeds are fantastically easy to grow, very, very easy. And then they grow all these beautiful colours. They can be really tall. I've even left some of mine. I've completely neglected them, and they've still managed to put on flowers and grow. I've actually ended up putting them on a living roof that I've got in the garden, and I'm doing a video for that, which I'm going to show you. And they've survived very well with a shallow root system on a very sort of shallow roof. And they're extremely tolerant to this heat and the dry weather. Even the Sweet Williams in containers are not wilting. All the other plants, they're wilting. They're going, oh, I need some water. And I'm daily having to go out there and attend to them. The Sweet William, they can always be left till last. They just don't seem to suffer at all in this kind of heat and weather. So they are easy to grow, beautiful, make great cut flowers, perfect cottage garden flower, and they don't even seem to suffer in the heat at all. So they're really low maintenance as well. I mean, what more can you ask? You can harvest the seeds as well. In fact, you can harvest the seeds on the foxgloves, are really easy to harvest, and the hollyhock actually. So you can, once you've got them established, you can harvest the seeds. You can just keep sowing them every year. But they also self-seed the Sweet William. Sweet William, I just think, is a really underrated plant to grow in your garden. And if you want to grow it, give it a go. You have to start now. And what you'll see with them is that they grow this kind of green foliage, and that's all they're going to do this side of the summer. But by next spring, when the days get longer and warmer, that you'll start to see they will sort of stretch up and up and up, and then you'll get the flower spikes on top. Number 9 is Canterbury bells. Sometimes I've actually done Canterbury bells earlier. I've done them in sort of May even, but you can still do them now. Very good to do now. Again, they will do exactly the same as the Sweet William. They'll just put on all the foliage now. Then they'll sort of go dormant and overwinter. Don't worry, they won't be damaged by the frost. Again, come the spring, they're going to shoot up and they're just going to give you these lovely spires full of bells. And number 10 is wallflower. Wallflower needs to be started now, really, because it flowers so early next year, and it often flowers even as early as March. So you can pair it great with daffodils and early tulips for bouquets and cut flowers indoors, and it's super scented as well. Because it flowers so early, you have to start it earlier, so you have to kind of start it now so it can put on the bulk of its growth. Then it will go dormant over the winter, and then the moment the conditions are right, those cool, very cool late winter, early spring conditions will bring it on into early flowering. So get started on that without delay if you want wallflower. And all of these are really easily available as seed packets in garden centres and nurseries. So you're not going to have to go and source these online. They're not speciality seeds by any means. So it really is a job you could do this weekend. You could go out, get your stuff and then sow them. And I know it seems odd sowing things that aren't going to flower till next year, but I promise you, if you get to next year and you've sown these seeds and they're growing happily, you are going to be over the moon with yourself by the time these are beautiful big plants ready to flower next year, because they're going to make such an impact on your garden and not an impact on your wallet, which would be the case if you had to buy them all as mature plants from the garden centre next year instead. So thank me later next spring. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did and feel inspired to grow, let me know in the comments what you're growing, and let me know also in the comments what zone you're sowing in and whether you would still grow sunflowers, etc. at this stage. And I'll see you again, and don't forget to subscribe, like, share with your friends, and I'll see you again in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.